What's up, y'all? Sparty here. I want to do my review after a couple months of the Samsung Galaxy Note 8. I did this for the V30, I think, a few days ago, and I just want to do this now for the Note 8. I've been meaning to do it, but I wanted to give this phone a little bit more time because with the V30, I can gauge the fact that I will indeed keep this phone at the very least, if not go for the V30 Plus at the very least. The Note 8 though, and it's hard to not be, comparative because I use both of these phones legitimately all day, every day at the same time. So it's very hard to not be comparative. So just keep that in mind when it comes to me. If I mention something about the V30 and say it's not as good on the Note 8, just keep that in mind. It's not me being biased. It's not me being paid by LG. Keep in mind that I am not even close to being that big to even have that sort of clout. So just keep that in mind. Don't even try and say that. It's just simply what I would call an on the contrary, au contraire review of the Note 8, where some things I really do enjoy about this phone. The others seem to be the big outliers that I just don't like at all. That just make me be like, I kind of want to return this phone. And let me speak on those here real fast. One, let me talk about what I do like. The design is very nice. It's very clean. It's a slab. It feels like a note. It feels like you're holding a notepad in your hand. Don't get me wrong. They got that down pat, Being able to hold the phone in one hand and doodle in the other is very nice. But that's one like about it. One dislike about the design is the 18.5 by 9 display. Okay, so let me do what I said I was going to do. 18 by 9, 18.5 by 9, 6.3 inches, 6 inches. Both OLED displays, blah, 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 blah. Stuff that is optimized for 18 by 9 works perfectly on the V30, right? Stuff that's optimized for 18 by 9 doesn't work perfectly on the Note 8. You still have to go into full screen on apps that support 18 by 9, but not 18.5 by 9. It's that typical Samsung one-upsmanship that they like to do, right? The entire, this company's doing one thing, let's do that, but slightly better. I felt bad slamming it like that, even though it really wasn't a slam. Here's one thing I will say. The narrowness of this phone, a lot of reviewers have said, this feels very nice. Its one-handedness feels very good. And I'm like, this doesn't feel like a one-handed phone to me. And I can't even use the fingerprint sensor to open the damn phone. I typically use, the fingerprint sensor gesture to swipe down to do the notification shade thing. It works pretty much flawlessly unless my fingerprint sensor is smudged up. That's pretty much it. And even then, the fingerprint sensor just doesn't like to work 100% of the time, period. So it's like, that's another thing. It's not the placement that bothers me about the fingerprint sensor. It's the fact that it's of poor quality. Might I say poor quality, which I know is the same word. I just put emphasis on the two O's. So just keep that in mind. Iris sensing is something that a lot of people say is crap on the Note 8 because the iPhone 10 just came out. That's a new hotness, blah, blah, blah. I will say this. The iris sensing on this is actually very nice. I like it a lot. It works for me majority of the time. Not 100% of the time, majority of the time. I like that it works in darkness. I like it's very fast too. It's not like, and I wear glasses. Keep that in mind. And it works through my glasses. A lot of people are like, oh, it doesn't work through sunglasses. Why would you expect it to work through sunglasses? That doesn't make any sense to me. It's an iris sensor. It needs to sense your irises. It's not like the iPhone does face recognition. It doesn't do iris sensing. Those are two entirely different things. So to say that is kind of dumb to me. Another thing that's hit and miss is battery life. Battery life overall is good. I would say that throughout the day, typically at work, I work 5 days a week. I listen to podcasts, and that's normally 6 hours worth of podcasts, and it can go from 100 to 72 to maybe 69 at the lowest at the end of my shift. And just to have a quick comparison, my V20, when I used to use that for podcasting, it would go from 100 to 40 or something like that. And it would drain super fast, mainly because I use my V20 day to day to day to day very heavily. So just keep that in mind too. Where I tend to teeter off between the V30 and the Note 8 as to what I use for each. I have majority of the same apps on each, but when I want to do something on one, I tend to gravitate towards the V30 for a lot of different and more things, honestly. Let's talk about the main thing you see when you open the display, the screen. When you look at the phone, the screen. The screen is great, but it's also, the screen is good. A lot of people, the saturation, the vibrancy, and I'm like, all that's nice and all, but the main sticking point to the V30, right, was its color shifting. And it's a blue tint that this gets. This gets a red tint. This gets an orange tint, a red tint, or something of that variant. Where, let me open YouTube. Open YouTube.
All right, here's the app.
I didn't want to do that. When I go off axis, the white, I wouldn't necessarily say red, but it has a bit of like a, what am I trying to say? It looks a bit more greenish. It depends on how bright the display is. Say if I turn it all the way up, it turns a little bit brown or something. And the edges stay perfectly white. And it's that color shifting that doesn't bother me because I don't do it ever, but it does happen on every OLED. Keep that in mind. People saying it's just LG. No, it's every OLED. But the fact that Samsung has been doing this longer, of course, they're going to have it so it's not as, pronounced. So just keep that in mind. But it does indeed happen if that bothers you. Another thing I like and dislike is the cameras. The cameras are great. Cameras are really great, but Samsung's oversaturation of images will always bring it down for me. It really will. I took pictures earlier today of snow on the ground because it started snowing here in Minnesota. Um, Open my recent photos,
Okay.
not memes. Open recent photos I took with my camera.
Okay, here it is.
Fuck it, Bixby. Fuck it. It's not what I said to do. Okay, so here it is on the Note 8. Now, what you would typically say is, oh, it looks nice. It looks good, right? And I wouldn't necessarily blame you for saying that, but you probably can't see it as well as I can. But the image on the Note 8 is white. It's very white-ish. And at the time, the sky was lighting the overall area to be blue. And the V30 actually captured that very well. It probably doesn't look any different to you guys, honestly. But I'll show you guys here side by side. As you guys can see, it's a bit more blue in the sky on the V30. It's not on the Note 8. I go to a ground shot. This is more representative of the scene. The V30 is more blue. It's more white on the Note 8. That's a blurry photo. And same here. It looks purple on the Note 8 and it looks blue here. Now to each their own, but for me personally, I don't like oversaturation because it reminds me of shitty Michael Bay movies, and I don't like Michael Bay movies, really, unless I just want to turn my brain off. So, yeah. Let's see. Overall, the cameras are great. I don't use live focus. I stopped using that after the first initial times I was using it. It doesn't work very well. I'm gonna actually try it here. Live. No pun intended. I gotta go a bit farther. Oh, I did that terribly. Oh, it actually, okay. See, my problem with live focus is that, see, it's hard to show. Okay, no, it's not actually. I gotta go super close to the screen. You guys can see there's a little bit of fringing right there. It's gotten better. They've had recent updates to it where it actually works pretty much. It works very well now, but I still don't typically use it because it's just something I don't think about it. So basically, it's one other camera that's useless on the back of the phone for me. I wish they went monochrome. I wish they did Huawei. I really did. That would have been very nice, honestly. Wide angle, LG could stick to wide angle. I'll keep that. But for the Note, for Samsung, I wish they just did monochrome. Or maybe I just have to get a Huawei phone. Or a Motorola. But IP68 water and dust resistance is very nice. Both of these phones have it. I tend to bring my Note 8 more, say, because I take baths because I be sore as hell from work. I use it more I bring my Note 8 with me more because it has, this little thing here, the S Pen. And it's easier to navigate the menus with my S Pen than with my wet finger. That sounded very dirty. But, yeah. What else? Samsung Pay. Samsung Pay is it's probably the reason I might keep this phone, if not go for like the S8 Active, because Samsung Pay is really nice. Like, that's something not a lot of people talk about, but Samsung Pay is like very nice. Like, I didn't even know, like, my Target supported Android, Samsung, or Samsung Pay. They don't support Apple Pay for whatever reason, but Android and Samsung Pay, they do. This thing is like, Samsung Pay is very cool. Like, oh, open Samsung Pay.
Sure, here you go.
I'm using Bixby a lot just to show you guys. But go to my Samsung rewards. As you guys can see, I have 5340 points. Got to make 3 more purchases to get to silver. And basically what that does is that when you get points, you could like use them to buy gift cards and stuff like that, and use them to enter raffles and stuff on the Samsung Pay app and stuff like that. It's very cool. It's very nice. It's something that I like a lot, and it's probably one of the reasons why I will indeed keep this phone, because I don't feel like having to go through my bank again and having to re-register for Samsung Pay. That's probably something that makes me most likely keep this phone. Not to say that everything is crap about the phone, that Samsung Pay is the saving grace of it. It's not. But Samsung Pay, it works wonders. And it makes me, not works wonders, but it makes me like, it elevates my use of the phone even more. And that's something that I wanted to say. I use Android Pay too, but I have to reset up my cards on my Android Pay app. So with my V30, since I'm most likely gonna jump to the V30 Plus, since it's on T-Mobile now, I want to wait until I get that, and then maybe I'll put them on there too. But yeah, the Note 8, the sticking point is the performance. The performance on this phone is not great. Like, it'll skip animations. I even sped up the animations. And here we go again with the fingerprint sensor. And it'll indeed not work when it should work. Like, Samsung really needs to fix that. And maybe then I'll reconsider getting another Samsung phone. This might be my last one for a while, because I want to branch out to other phones, other phone companies. Like, I want to do Huawei next, because Huawei's been making moves. And I really want to do that. I really want to try out their phones. I've been wanting to for a while, but never had the money to like just go and get one. So hopefully soon I'll be able to. But yeah, that's it as far as this goes. Let me know what you guys think of the Note 8. Do you have a Note 8? Do you like it? How much do you like it? I know there are very few people that can have 2 heavy hitter phones at the same time, right? So just keep that in mind. I'm not trying to be like, oh, the V30 is miles better. But what I value in these phones in particular, I use them for different reasons. And I think I'm going to make a separate video on that, as a matter of fact, because I want to accentuate that, so that you guys just don't think, oh, the V30 is just better to him in every single way. No, not necessarily. In most ways, yes, but not necessarily. Okay, this is Sparta. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for the support. Hope you guys have a wonderful Monday, whatever time of day it is in your area. Have a good one. Sorry for the lack of videos lately. I've been sleeping like a dog. They've been needing me at work for more hours, so I've just been doing that. Hopefully trying to get a Nintendo Switch soon. If not that, Nvidia Shield TV. If not that, probably a Switch. I probably just want to get that soon. I'm planning on some stuff. Just keep that in mind. Give me some time. This isn't the only, I wouldn't even necessarily call it a job. This isn't the only thing I do. So stick with me, you guys. Thank you guys again and have a good one.